What the heck just happened on Critical Role?
This isn't okay!
The latest episode of Critical Role, episode 33 of Campaign 3, for those who are watching this video a little bit after we post it, was perhaps the most shocking episode ever, which is pretty impressive given all the absolutely wild things we've seen from Critical Role over the past few years. Now, we're going to dive into spoilers here in a little bit, so if you don't want to be spoiled about Campaign 3 and specifically episode 33, please click away now. We won't blame you.
Nice to see you. Get out.
To provide some context about what the heck happened last night, you have to understand that Campaign 3 has featured this vast conspiracy that's all tied to Ruidus, the red moon that hangs above Exandria. Now, there are a lot of theories about what Ruidus actually is, and go ahead and search Critical Role Ruidus if you want to really dive deep into some very wild and shockingly plausible conspiracy theories.
Return to the night. You've no business here.
Are you yelling at the moon?
Now, Bell's Hells have been chasing after a dwarven politician named Armand Treshy, who seems to be connected to this Ruidus conspiracy. Treshy had hired a fey creature called the Nightmare King, and that is what kicked all of this off. Now, Treshy, in recent weeks, has been holed up in a citadel in the city of Bassaris, although it was unclear if Treshy was there by choice or if he was being held there by unknown parties. Now, during their time in Bassaris, the party met Otahun Thule, a mercenary and another member of this Ruidus conspiracy. Otahun had her own connections to Bell's Hells. She has appeared in Imogen's dreams, which, again, seem to be connected to Ruidus somehow. Now, earlier, the party had learned that the Nightmare King, who Treshy had hired at the beginning of this campaign, was also researching Ruidus, building a device that somehow could protect the Feywild from Ruidus. At one point, the Nightmare King, whose real name is actually Ira Wendigoth, even showed the group that there was a city on the surface of Ruidus, although we still don't know what that's all about. Now, in the most recent episode, Bell's Hells decided that it was time to get Treshy and get out of the city. During their escape, after extracting Treshy from the Citadel, Otahun confronted the group and revealed that she had Echo Knight abilities. In fact, her echoes seemed to be the assassins who Orym had faced prior to the start of the campaign, when those echoes had attacked Keyleth in an apparent assassination attempt, and had killed Orym's husband in the process. Yes, and by Keyleth, we mean Keyleth from Campaign 1, who's now the leader of the Ashari and one of the real power movers and shakers within Exandria. Now, anyways, Otahun ended up being way too overpowered for Bell's Hells, especially when they had used up so many of their spell slots and resources over the course of the day, and didn't really have a plan for dealing with her at all. By the end of the episode, both Orym and Fearne, who we'll mention was also connected to Ruidus and the Nightmare King, were both dead. Not dying and making death saves, they were dead. Dead, 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 dead. Also, Laudna was also making death saves, and she's one failed death save away from death. On top of all of that, Imogen had succumbed to the power of the storm inside her, and the episode ended with her seemingly blasting everything away with these newfound magical powers. Now, this is the first time that Critical Role has potentially had 3 deaths on their hands. There is a glimmer of hope, though. Freshly Cut Grass is still up and moving, and they have 1 spell slot left for Revivify. Depending on how the beginning of the episode goes, Freshly Cut Grass can potentially revivify Fearne. Fearne can then revivify Orym, and then Freshly Cut Grass can also heal Laudna, assuming that she makes her last death saving throw.
I think I'm cursed.
Okay.
So, there's a chance that this episode won't end up being Campaign 3's Molly Mock moment.
Nice.
So,
level in Blood Hunter, which makes me the highest Blood Hunter to have ever lived.
of course, depending on how the beginning of the next episode goes, there's just as much of a chance that we're going to meet a lot of new player characters in the coming weeks and months. Potentially 4 characters, depending on what happens to Imogen and whether or not Laura Bailey is still in control of that character. Were you as shocked as we were by the events of last night's Critical Role episodes? Let us know in the comments section, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to the character sheet.